But the community is in distress. Gentlemen, let's take a seat, please.
That's what mom was last time. I had to print it, and then I would just go.
Benny?
Go tell her that. She can enjoy that.
I'd like to call to order this Monday, October 5th meeting of the Ascension Parish Council Finance Committee. We will begin with the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Ken Dawson. Thank you.
Let us pray. Father, as we enter this meeting tonight, we thank you for all the blessings you bestowed upon us and for your continued protection. And tonight we ask that you just watch upon those that are around in the Charleston area for the distress that they're under, and especially for Terry's daughter and son-in-law, that you protect them and all those around them. We know that your hand of protection, oh God, can watch over them and can keep them during this dreadful time. As we come tonight, we pray for your wisdom and guidance as we do the people's business. And again, we thank you for all that you've done and continue to do in our lives. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Joseph, Councilman Turner, Councilman Shakespeare are not able to be with us this evening. Everyone else is present. There are no chairs additions, and I would like to notify everyone that if you are here to make public comment, you can sign in with the secretary. You will be allotted 3 minutes at the appropriate time in the agenda to make your comment. And at this time, I'd like to invite the parish president to give a report tonight on the Balloon Festival. Mr. President?
Yes, I talked to you at the last council meeting and said I'd give you the figures here on the Balloon Festival, and I think I'm pretty close to where we're at. It's still preliminary, but I think we are looking at pretty close to what the actual numbers are. This year we had budgeted total revenue for $192,750, but actually we took in $248,296. We had budgeted on expenses $148,300. The actual expenses were $143,268.99, which leaves us a profit of $105,027, plus probably another $3,000 that from admissions that we missed. So basically, with the $62,000 that we had on hand from last year and this year, we have a balance of about $162,000 at the end. So in the event now, we have our rainy day fund for the Balloon Festival. So if we have a bad year weather-wise or anything else that goes wrong, we'll have enough to substantiate. I think these numbers show what a great success it was. And hopefully in the future it'll continue to be such a thing just for the children in our community and surrounding communities to come out and enjoy, and also the adults. I plan on continuing going, and hopefully it can help and volunteer myself. And just want to say thank you to all the many, many volunteers, over 200 volunteers, and that's what really makes this a successful event, by having that. And a lot of our employees put in double time and double shifts to help us out, and nobody charged us anything. It was all volunteers, so we certainly appreciate that. And Volunteer Ascension did an excellent job, as they usually do, and the Boy Scouts were all involved. We just had just about everybody in the community involved, and that's what it takes. It was truly a community event, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of y'all help during this, and your persistence as far as the not letting it die a couple of years ago and working with us. And so it was overall positive, everything that I could see. And of course, Lamar Dixon has a booth there, and Flo's telling me they cleared about 20,000 for Lamar Dixon. So that kind of killed some of the pain over the first couple of years, and they can do that over the next 3 or 4 years. They'll have all their money back. So again, I just want to say thank you to everybody, and thank you to everyone that came out and enjoyed it.
Thank you, Mr. President. It was an amazing event. It has been well received by our community and our surrounding communities, and means a lot to the people of this parish. So I thank you for your persistence, and certainly thank this council for its persistence over the last couple of years to make sure we made this happen again. And we look forward to next year when you will be volunteering on that committee. Ms. Flo, thank you very much for everything you all do out at Lamar Dixon to make it possible. We appreciate you and your members of your committee. All right, we'll move along to item number 5 on our agenda. That is the approval of new construction of Ascension Parish Fire District 3, station number 34. Mr. Michael Baterla.
How y'all doing?
And the chief.
You coming up with me? All right. We have just finished the design for fire station number 34. It mirrors the station that we did at number 33, and we have done a preliminary estimate, which I believe we include in the packet, which Mark and them have funds for, so we are here asking for permission to advertise for bids.
Make that motion.
I second it.
Have a motion by Councilman Benny Johnson, a second by Councilman Todd Lambert to go out for bid. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Now, let me ask a question. You said you have the funds to build this station? Then I congratulate you, and I'm sure this council will, on the wise use of your resources for the last several years in order to save this money and be ready to build this station. Congratulations.
One of the next big growing areas. We've seen a lot of growth in that area, so we need to get a station out there, you know, to work further and cutting down response times and better service to the people over around the Bluff Road, Old Perkins area over there. So this will be a big help, and I think a tremendous thing for the people in that area.
Thank you so much, Mark. And to your Board of Fire Commissioners who help you to make wise business decisions out in that district. We appreciate them very much.
They do a good
Any
job.
questions or comments?
Quick question for Chief Stewart. How do you come up with the 34? Can you explain that to us? Number 34.
Well,
I want to make sure, I don't think you have 34 stations there.
No, Mr. Councilman, Prairieville was designated the 30 numbers when the fire departments or
Right.
fire districts out here were given numbers. So our original station was 30, then 31, and so we're continuing
Just
on that
continue to roll
path.
on that.
So hopefully we don't have to worry about when we get to 40. We can keep it on 30.
Good deal.
Thank y'all very much.
Yes, Benny.
Mark, I also want to throw in my congratulations to you and the board. You know, going back through the years and the conditions that y'all have had to go through and with the growth and everything and the hurdles that y'all have had to meet, y'all tackled them very well. It's a benefit to the community, and I want to commend you and your staff as well as the board and the volunteers out there for doing the job that y'all do. Those people in that area can rest safe at night knowing that they've got a Class A fire department sitting there ready to go to help them out in case something happens.
Thank you. And again, it's big. It's the board mostly. You know, the board does a very good job, very judicious, and they understand we're dealing with the public's money. They understand that. We're trying to provide the best service that we can. And of course, all of the people that work for us and the volunteers, they're the one out there making it happen every day. So I get to come to the council meetings and stuff and stand in front of you, get a little credit, but it's the other people actually doing it though.
So let them know we appreciate it.
I will do that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So hearing any objections at this time? Hearing none, that motion passes. All right. Item number 6, an amendment to an ordinance to update the cost estimate for rental charges at Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Ms. Flo.
Yes, ma'am. This is really to clarify and to change the rental on the 4-H building. The 4-H building's rental was $950 before we put all this work into it and got it climatized. So we want to move that rent to $2,500 a day.
So moved, Madam
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, a second by Councilman Brian Melanson. Are there any questions of Ms. Flo?
The
Any-
other thing on here that's going to change a little bit is the Savoy Arena. Right now, we have it as a ticketed event, 1,000 versus 10% of the gate. We have horse shows come in that don't have ticketed events, smaller events. We would like to move that rent to the $650, the same as our back arena.
Motion.
And should we have that in separate motions or in one?
Separate, bro.
Okay, well, let's vote on the first one and then do the second one. So any questions about the first motion? Any objections? Councilman Satterley.
Yeah, it's not objection, it's a question. Ms. Flo, what was the price before it was air conditioned?
$9.50 a day.
So we're going to 2,500, just, okay.
It's just such a, now it's going to be so nice,
Right.
and it will be
Oh,
climate
it'll
controlled.
make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Major conference center.
Absolutely. All righty.
If you hadn't been out there to look at the new renovations, you know, if you get with the contractor and go look, you'll see it's gonna be really nice, and all those wires that's still hanging down, don't worry about those, they're gonna unplug them at the top and take them down when they're not using them for events, so.
Fantastic. Okay. Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. And now if you'll make the second, if you'll go back to the second one, and we have a motion by Councilman Kluwat and a second by Councilman Johnson. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Flo, for everything you do out there. Item number 7, project change order number 3 for the 2013 road maintenance project, FG Sullivan Jr. Contractors, compensate contractor for emergency road repairs on Park Avenue to increase the contract amount by $64,431.77. Good evening, Tracy.
Good evening.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. This change order, I don't know if you guys recall, Park Avenue, when they were redoing that section, it rained and the base became unpassable. So the contractor had to bring out temporary stone in order to allow cars to pass, bus to pass.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Benny Johnson, a second by Councilman Brian Melanson. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. And we thank the contractor for the work he did to help those folks get in and out, and to the Parish crew who got out there and were a major assistance as well.
It was quite a mess.
Thank you. Agenda item number 8, project change order number 004 for the 2013 road maintenance project, FG Sullivan, modified design of typical section for Bayou Terrace Road to increase the contract amount by $75,000.
I second it.
I have a motion by Councilman Randy Kluwat, a second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Agenda item number 9, project change order number 005 for the 2013 road maintenance project, FG Sullivan Contractors. Add Delat Road to the project. Add a pay item for 4-inch thermoplastic striping to increase the contract length by 30 days and increase the contract amount by $180,090.99.
Make that motion, Madam Chairman.
Have a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert,
I'll second it.
second by Councilman Benny Johnson.
Question.
Question by Councilman Benny Johnson.
Since we're increasing this by 180, I'm assuming we had that in the budget for that year's project?
Yes, sir. When we redesigned Bayou Terrace, we actually saved approximately $350,000. So we actually decreased, we're very close to our original budget.
Okay.
So this added, within the $350,000.
Still within the original budget. Okay,
Right.
fantastic.
Okay, any other questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 10, amendment number 2 to the master contract for professional services for SJB Group, professional support services utilities for an additional $18,000 for additional services needed for the Louisiana 73 road widening project within the current contract term.
Motion.
Have a motion by Councilman Randy Kluwat, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Yes, sir.
That was it.
Anything you want to add to this?
No, if there are any questions,
Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Agenda item number 11, which I don't seem to have in my packet. Thank you, sir. Mine's missing one. Agenda item number 11, amendment to the professional services contract with Mujo Architecture for additional scope of work and compensation. Rebid and redesign for installation of an emergency backup generator at the governmental complex. This will add an additional $16,107.47 to the total contract amount. Total contract shall not exceed $661,107.47.
Motion.
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Kluwat. Mike, I seem to, didn't we do this? I mean,
It was one of those items we had to take out in the original, and then we went back and bid it, advertised for bidding it again a couple
Just
months
a
back.
redesign, right? So
Yeah,
what happened that we had to redesign
I
it?
think that's correct. This is actually for, I think it's also for construction management of the install. So I'm not sure exactly what the architect's subconsultant had to redesign, but there were some structural components, and they had to go through the bid specifications and modify them to put it out for bid again. It was originally in the first bid, and I think to cut the budget down, we had to take it out. It's kind of before I came into the project, so I'm trying to piece it together, but
I think it's
Mr.
within
President?
budget.
it's within the budget.
No, this is an addition. We have enough money in the budget to cover this,
Okay,
but we negotiated this down from 25,000 to 16,000, so I just want to let you know that we discussed this from the beginning, but originally it was in, then we said, no, we didn't have enough money to take it out, and then we asked them to come back in, so they had to put all the bid package back together to do this, because they hadn't actually developed the bid package then.
So we voted to put it in put it up, redesign, rebid, and now we're just approving the money that it costs, the extra money that it costs to do it.
Yeah, you had to bring it back in.
Right.
If you took it out originally.
I appreciate the explanation. Thank you very much. And are there any other questions? Councilman Satterwhite.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Mike, is there a bigger generator involved in the redesign?
the generator stayed the same. We've actually had to install a temporary backup generator that's diesel powered until we get the permanent natural gas generator in. There's about a 16-week lead time, and there's a few things that had to happen. We had to have backup power due to IT moving the servers into the new complex, and the way it's explained to me is they can't have those go down on a weekend. They need, they have about 10 minutes of battery backup, and if those go down, then the parish administration loses a lot of stuff. So, so it's not going to be necessarily larger, just different power source, diesel versus natural gas.
Mr. President.
We put 500,000 in the budget to do this, and it actually came in at about 360,000. So we still well below about 140,000 or so. So it's not adding a whole lot. We're actually still saving
Right, absolutely.
150,000 or so.
Appreciate that. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion, or do I have them?
You got that.
I've got the motions, and we have finished the questions. Okay, any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
for
you.
keeping me in line here. Item number 12, monthly contracts report.
Good evening.
Good evening, Ms. Sandra. How are you?
Good, thanks. What you have is the list of all contracts that were entered into in the month of September.
Quick question.
Mr. Kluwat?
Mr. Parish President, you wanted to, I got a quick question. Somebody, Downsville Spray Park, for standalone bathroom, 73,800. That's new to that budget.
We approved that, didn't
You asking Parish President Martinez?
Mr. President?
That was all supposed to be bid at one time.
Right.
The spray park itself came in under budget by, but anyway, if you add everything back together, we just went out and rebid the bathroom, and that's what the cost was on it.
Madam Chairman? I don't remember the date, but I believe it came through Recreation, and we voted on
I
it
think
again
it's-
to have it go back out, so.
I think it's still
Approved it.
under the original budget with what we had originally, huh? Yeah, so we're still under about 23,000 from what we had originally put out, so we're still within the budget that we do have.
Very good. Brian, do you want to elaborate on
Yeah,
that
I
a
don't
little bit?
remember the exact date, but I do remember that it came through Recreation, and we approved that contract amount at the council.
Good deal.
Before
Very
that,
good.
so.
All right.
Does that satisfy your
Yes,
question,
sir.
Mr. Kluon?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Does anyone have any other questions or concerns from the contract report? Mr. President?
I just want to say that recently heard some things about contracts and the $49,000 contracts, so I just want to clarify things that every month we bring a contract reports to y'all. Nobody's trying to hide anything or get away with anything. We want you to realize that, you know, if you got any objections to any of these contracts, it's okay with us. But, you know, having that latitude to be able to do that saves about 6 weeks in time on some projects that we need to get done quickly, and hopefully that over the years that we haven't betrayed your trust in any way, shape, or form by doing this. You know, I can assure you, like I said, every contract you will see, and you certainly will see it on these reports and any other time that you want to see. So I just want to let you know that I appreciate you going from the $10,000 to the $50,000, because I think it's made this process a lot smoother. But at any time you have any questions on any of these contracts, please feel free, because we try to be as transparent as we can with them. So.
We don't doubt that, Mr. President, and we appreciate you qualifying that. We all know what season it is. So, okay. All right, we will move to item number 13, the presentation of the 2015 amended budget and the 2016 budget. Ms. Gwen LeBlanc.
Good evening. On behalf of President Martinez, we would...
Ms. Gwen, let me go wrap the gavel on the last one before we move on. Thank you, Randy. All right, Ms. Gwen, thank you.
On behalf of President Martinez, we'd like to present the 2016 budget as well as the 2015 amended budget for Ascension Parish government. The 2016 operating budget is based on conservative estimates with every effort to continue to provide vital services that are to the citizens of our parish. On the other hand, the 2016 capital budget is a very aggressive budget with funding primarily provided by bond revenues and grant revenues received in prior years. Our largest source of revenue, again, is from our 3 sales tax districts, and that equals $49.6 million, or 50% of all the revenues received in 2016. And the second highest would be our ad valorem taxes at $20.7 million, or 21% of the revenues. Standard & Poor's credit rating of the parish remains at AA. Our parish debt as of January the 1st, 2016, will be $80.1 million, well below the amount allowed by state law, which is approximately $327 million. Of that $80 million, East Ascension Drainage's debt is $53.3 million. The budget we're presenting is a responsible approach to address the needs of the parish through the stability of providing vital governmental services, along with an aggressive plan to address the growing infrastructure and capital needs of our ever-expanding parish. Once we review the highlights of the budget, the next step would be to introduce the budget ordinance at the regular meeting of the council on October the 15th, and thereafter, at the regular meeting of the council on November 19th, conduct the public hearing and adopt the ordinance amending the 2015 budget and adopting the 2016 budget. You have before you the actual budget and also a budget summary. If you would refer to the summary booklet, Dawn will review the budget summary, and thereafter President Martinez will add his comments. Dawn.
Good evening. If you get before you the 2016 budget summary booklet, we're going to just review the few pages of it. Page 1 is the budget comparison between the 2015 amended and the 2016 budgets. As you can see, the operating budget revenues, net of the 2015 debt refundings for the jail and East Ascension drainage, are approximately $96.5 million for 2015 and $99.5 million for 2016. The capital budget revenues are approximately $19.3 million for 2015 and $17.6 million for 2016. The required fund balance needed to balance the budget has decreased from $23.3 million in 2015 to $15.3 million in 2016. For the operating budget expenditures, net of the 2015 debt refundings for the jail and East Ascension drainage, they're approximately $83.1 million for 2015 and $81.4 million for 2016. The capital budget expenditures are approximately $56 million for 2015 and $51 million for 2016. If you turn to page 2, we have a comparison of the 2015 amended and 2016 budget expenditures by fund. For the general fund, there was an increase of approximately $1.1 million over the 2015 amended budget. This is due mainly to expenses related to the new governmental complex building for utilities and maintenance and the new appropriation for CARA. The special revenue funds increased about an additional $1.5 million, and this is due to equipment purchases to replace existing leased equipment and fire truck purchases for Fire District Number 3. The debt service funds decreased $48.5 million, and this was mainly due to the refunding of the debt for the jail bonds and the East Ascension consolidated gravity drainage bonds that took place in 2015. The enterprise and internal service funds decreased $6.4 million. This decrease was mainly due to the purchase of a local water company. And for the capital projects budgets, they decreased about $5 million, and this decrease was due to the completion of various construction projects, including the governmental complex building, the DPW West building, and the mental health building expansion. If you turn to page 3, this is a graph showing a breakdown of the 2016 operating budget revenues. The total revenues are $99,523,000. As you can see, the majority of the revenues, as Gwen stated, are from sales taxes at $49.6 million, or 50% of our total revenues, and from property taxes, which are $20.7 million, or 21%. Page 4 is a graph showing a breakdown of 2016 operating budget expenditures by function. The total 2016 operating budget expenditures are $81,461,500, and they're comprised of general government, $23.9 million, public works for drainage, $12.1 million, public safety, $11.2 million, health and welfare, $11.6 million, debt service, $9.7 million, public works, road and bridge, $8.8 million, recreation, $2.6 million, and intergovernmental at $1.3 million. Page 5 is a graph showing the 2016 capital budget revenues and expenditures. The total revenues plus the required fund balance for the capital budget is $44,587,000, and the total expenditures are $51,026,500. Pages 6 and 7 are the budget summary. When you speak of a fund's budget, you mainly look at the expenditures. If you turn to page 7, you will see the total operating budget, which is highlighted in yellow, of $81,461,500. This operating budget has approximately an $11.6 million surplus, which will increase the ending fund balance at the end of 2016 to $123.6 million. The capital budget, also highlighted in yellow, is $51,026,500, and the total 2016 budget is $132,488,000. Pages 8 through 11 are the ordinance amending the 2015 and appropriating the 2016 year budget, and that's for your review. And then page 12 I'm sorry, page 13 shows the 2014 sales tax collections for the entire parish. And it's broken out, as you can see. And then page 14 shows the 2014 property taxes for all of the taxing districts for the parish of Ascension.
That's a lot of numbers to absorb, and as always, our office is always open to anybody that, or any council member that would like to come in and ask questions or get a deeper explanation. If you have any questions right now, though, we'll be certainly glad to answer. Gentlemen, do you have any questions? I don't know about the rest of them, but it's going to take me more than a few minutes to absorb all this. I thank you all for the tremendous work you did, Mr. President. If you'd like to
Yes,
speak
I
to it.
just want to thank this council for 8 years of great budgeting. I think that overall, Ascension Parish is in the best shape that it's ever been in the history of the parish. Financially, we're stable. Our bond rating over these 8 years went from an A to a double A, which is tremendous. Not many agencies can say that. So that just speaks volumes of the work and the way we all work together over these 8 years. And, you know, this year, you're looking at about a $2 million decrease in the operating expenses. And if you look back over the past 5 years, it's pretty much stayed stable. Even though we acquired Lamar Dixon, that's a lot more employees than we used to have, but we've been able to work that out. I think when I took over, I'm not sure, but I think we had about 315, 320 employees. Now we have about 360. So over 8 years, that's not a whole lot with everything that we've accomplished. So, you know, I'm just proud of the fact that, you know, we can present a budget like this, and a lot of it's been due to the expansions in the industrial area. But, you know, it's good we didn't waste that money. As I said, when we came in, and some of you, most of you have been here the entire 8 years, you know, we were looking at a rainy day fund of well less than 10 million. Yep. Today, we're 30 million plus at that point. So that's the point where I think that at that stage, if you can hold that over the next few years, and then anything over that, I would put entirely on the roads to work on, because that's where your direst need is. And this year, I went ahead and left the 100% of the surpluses in utilities, because I don't know what's going to happen with sewer, which direction you're going to go in. But you can certainly amend that as time goes on. I pretty much kept everything status quo or reduced some things so that the next administration will have an opportunity to build their own budget in a way that the parish needs and sees fits. I think what we've got is ample to run and operate, but you know, there may be some changes that need to be made and some amendments that need to be made. So, you know, if you want to change that, I had thought about going 75-25, but after thinking about it, 75 roads, 25 utilities. I just think we need to leave it there until a decision is made. And on the projects, the capital projects, those are some huge ones, but we're also going to finish another $4.5 million of CBDG grant at Lamar Dixon. The water park's not on here, and those type things, that's all getting finished. So you got a lot that you can all be proud of that you've accomplished, not only this year, but over the past 8 years. If we go back, and before I get out, I'm going to go back and give you a state of the parish report on what you've accomplished over these 8 years. And I don't think anybody needs to hang their heads low here. I think you've got a record that you should be very, very proud of. And I just want to say that I've been proud to have the opportunity to serve with all you guys. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure's been ours. Any questions, gentlemen? Hearing none, we'll move along to the item number 14, the sales and use tax report. Ms. Gwynn.
You have before you your regular monthly sales tax report. This is for collections for the month of August, which represents July sales. And of our 3 sales taxing districts, you can see that they're all positive year-to-date, and also same month, August collections from August of last year, 14. And on the budget comparison side, we're at 66.66% of the year, and you can see all 3 are at 75.5%, almost 71%, and 76%. And we still have one petrochemical industry that we're rebating taxes on until, or not rebating, we're escrowing a rebate in the case that they choose to exercise that rebate, but that's only one left, one. All the others have decided to withdraw their application to draw down on the rebate. And you have the normal charts behind that, and you can see clearly that we certainly will make our budget this year.
Any questions, gentlemen? Councilman Kluwat has a question.
Yeah, Gwen, that's not a question. I'd just like to once more compliment you and the administration, and especially all your staff. A lot of people don't know, as far as the finance of the parish, you know, we're basically running, between $125 and $135 million business on an annual basis, and that's what all you folks sitting right there are doing for the people of Ascension Parish who own stock in that business. And
Absolutely.
there, I don't know the exact number, but people don't know the large number of different tax credit type agreements, contracts, when they're due, you know, how it works. That's a moving target, month by month by month, and, you know, and it's a very, very complicated business. So once again, I know I get this opportunity before the end of the year, but the fact is that, once again, thank you guys for winning both, you know, national awards and awards throughout the country in your good ethics in your accounting, and also in the academics of your accounting and your reports and how you prepare your reports. So
Well,
it's been a pleasure for 8 years for me too. Because
Well,
every
thank
time
you.
we've sat in a briefing on it, and I would encourage whatever council member, I've done it plenty of times, that if they've got a question on the budget, to go sit down and talk with you guys. And it's not all real clear to the people that don't fool with numbers every day.
yeah.
Once again, thank you very much.
Well, thank you. We're required by GFOA and GASB to maintain these budgets and our audits in a format designed by them and adopted by the legislature. So if it looks a little thick, that's just a requirement we have to go through. And also, I'd like to thank the council for all their support, too. And my staff is second to none, and, you know, I could do it alone, absolutely not. So I have a great staff and a great boss here, and that helps a lot.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I thank you, and I thank you for your support.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ms. Gwynn, and your staff. All right, we will move on to item number 15, the Revenue and Expenditure Report. Ms. Amanda.
Good evening. Before you are the financial reports for the month of August 2015. Page 1, revenues are at 90.70%, and on page 2, expenditures are at 94.05%, at 66.66% of the year. On page 3 are charts that compare the year-to-date revenue and expenditures for both operating and capital to the budget. Page 4 and 5 gives you a brief explanation of funds that are highlighted on page 1 and 2 that are under the budget for revenues and over the budget for expenditures by 5% or more. And the last page reflects all checks issued in the month of August over $100,000, and the total of these checks are $3,395,162.09. And once you review the report, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer at this time.
Gentlemen, does anyone have any questions? All right, hearing none, we'll move along to the item number 16, bid items to accept the lowest responsive bid as follows. Ms. Jones.
Good evening. On September 9, 2015, the purchasing department received 7 bids for PVC sewer drainage pipe. After review, the purchasing department and DPW recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid from Industrial Municipal Supply and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this material.
So moved.
Have a motion by Councilman Satterly,
Second.
second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
On September 9, 2015, the purchasing department received 2 bids for limestone grade 57. After review, the purchasing department and DPW recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid from Bear Industries and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this material.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Brian Malassaw, a second by Councilman Chris Lohr. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
On September 10, 2015, the purchasing department received 1 bid for bunker gear and accessories for firefighters for Fire District Number 1. After review, the purchasing department and Fire Protection District Number 1 recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid from BGS and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this material.
Motion.
Have a motion by Councilman Benny Johnson, a second by Councilman Randy Cluott. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
On September 29, 2015, the purchasing department received 2 bids for an aluminum box culvert for the Lemonville Cutoff Bridge replacement. After review, the Ascension Parish Purchasing Department and West Ascension Drainage recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid from Coastal Culvert and Supply and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this material.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Have a
Second.
motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Brian Malassaw, and a question by Councilman Johnson.
Is that, Mr. President, is that the same thing they did under Highway 74 right there past the railroad tracks, that metal culvert, do you know?
They're gonna put covers instead of the bridge, and then from here on out, you won't have any maintenance, hopefully.
That's one of those big corrugated jobs they gotta put together and haul in? Okay.
Yes. We thought it would come in at 100,000, and that's basically what it did, so.
Okay.
Councilman Cluott.
Yeah, I just had a quick question, the aluminum versus concrete boxes, I was wondering why this,
Maybe Joey can answer that question.
I'm sure this is probably a better box, but
I know that was, the pre-assembled thing, it does have a lot of capacity, not a structure like that. You almost have to, I don't think you have one that big.
thank you.
Yeah, and just like what Joey was saying, because of the configuration of that area, the pre-constructed aluminum will give more area so that you get more water passing through than the actual just formed bridge. I mean, it's something that they looked at, the design was a little different, they felt that they get more flow through.
My question was just basically aluminum versus
Yeah, for its strength or-
concrete boxes, the same square boxes that we've used before. So,
It's no different in strength, it's the same strength as the aluminum because of the thickness of the aluminum and the way it's
Yeah.
designed.
I'm
Should
good.
be in the field.
thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Motion adjourned, Madam Chairman.
Have a motion by Councilman Todd
Second.
Lambert, and a second by Councilman Benny Johnson. We are adjourned.